All right, we got an interesting one here. So Michael Barrett, who's a rock star in the Conservative Party, put out a tweet just a little while ago saying, "Motion passed. The Liberals have 100 days to get Canadians their millions of dollars back." You know what he's referring to? The over $60 million that the Liberal government gave to GC Strategies to build one lousy app. Remember that? It was called ArriveCan, but most people call it the ArriveScam app, because that's what it was. Well, motion passed, and they owe us a lot of money. So let's see what Michael Barrett has to say here, and then we'll talk about it after. But before we do get into it, please do not forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. I really appreciate all of you who do that for me. Thank you very much. So let's have a look, and then we'll talk about it after.
Hey folks, just leaving the House of Commons, and this is big news. We had an Opposition Day motion last week that was on notice in my name, along and seconded by my colleague Kelly McCauley. You'll know him from the Mighty Ogo, where Kelly's the chair. And this motion was about the $64 million in the Arrive scam, which the Auditor General determined was a project where there is, in many cases, no proof that the work that was paid for by taxpayers was done, that security clearances weren't in place where they needed to be in place, and the government initially, the Liberals, voted against having the Auditor General even investigate. So we put this...
I wonder why. Go figure. The criminals don't want their crimes to be caught. They don't want to get caught with all their ridiculous overspending, with all their scandals. Of course they don't want it investigated. They know they're guilty.
Motion on notice last week, and we used it as our Opposition Day. And there's a lot of things we could use for an Opposition Day motion, but here is a case where it's tens of millions of taxpayer dollars in a time when Canadians are struggling to get by, and we have the Liberals with Prime Minister Carney saying it's a new government, he's a new Prime Minister, it's going to be new days and new ways. So we said, you know what, let's give them a chance to do the right thing. So this motion was giving the government 100 days to get taxpayers their money back, and to not have a 7-year ban for just the company name that was involved in this case where
I'm sorry, I'll back it up. I need to ask you guys a question. So GC Strategies, I'm sure you guys know, they've been banned from working with the government for 7 years. When I heard that news, I felt nauseous. You know why? Because that's not enough. And I know the Liberals are a big part of this. They're the ones who gave them the money, but at the same time, it's like 7 years. All the money they probably made, they're just going to go on vacation for 7 years, and then what? Come back and rip us off again? Or at least participate in ripping us off again? I don't think that's a good idea. Let me know what you guys... I really want to know what you guys think about that. Sorry for pausing there. I'll go back here.
And to not have a 7-year ban for just the company name that was involved in this case where all of the procurement rules were thrown to the side, where Canadians were taken for a ride. It cost tens of millions of dollars. It's a $64 million app. It did nothing to keep people safe. And get us our money back. Get us the tens of millions back. And a lifetime ban for the company, but also for its principles, for its founders. You'll remember we had Christian Firth come to the bar of the House of Commons, and his partner, Darren Anthony. We had them both come to committee, and we didn't get a lot of answers, but the Auditor General did get answers for us. So this motion just came before the House, and Conservatives, of course, we voted for our motion, and then the Bloc Québécois voted for the motion. And guess what? So did the NDP.
And guess what? That's not the first time that the parties have teamed up against the Liberals. That's the second time so far, and we're not even 2 months into this.
Who've been supporting the Liberals for the last 10 years. But Mark Carney's so-called new Liberal government, they voted against getting taxpayers their money back. But it doesn't matter. because Mark Carney doesn't have a majority, and the majority of democratically elected members of the House of Commons has given the Liberals, by order of the House of Commons, 100 days to get taxpayers their money back, to get you your money back. And this isn't just about the $64 million. This is about all the grift and waste and corruption and scandal that we've seen over the last 10 years. And I heard from so many of you that you wanted to know, well, what's going to happen with all of these different scandals that you uncovered? There's been an election. Does that mean it all goes away? Absolutely not. We're going to have accountability, and we're going to make sure that any grifters, anyone who engaged in corrupt practices, we're going to expose them. We're going to refer files to the police, and we're going to make sure that they're not allowed to get their hands on any more taxpayer money. And so that's what today was about. So it's a win. That's a big win. And now again comes another test for Prime Minister Carney and his new government. Are they going to respect the will of the House of Commons, an order of the House of Commons, and get Canadians their money back? And so we're going to have to stay tuned to watch that. But it's so important because I know people want to, they want to see that there's consequences when there's fraud on our system, when the money that's your hard-earned money is taxed away from you, that it doesn't just disappear into into the swamp of liberal insiders. So stay tuned for more accountability and more opportunities. Look, this is an opportunity for Prime Minister Carney to do the right thing. Now, him and his caucus, they did the wrong thing in voting against Canadians, voting against accountability. But now they've got to follow the will of the House and get you your money back. And so it's a good day for Canada, and we're going to keep working hard for you because that's what you sent me here to do. That's what you sent us here to do. And looking forward to more of that.
Let me ask you a silly question. Does any one of you actually think we're going to see our money back? I don't know the exact process of how this goes because the Conservative motion did pass. But I just have a feeling that Mark Carney and the Liberals are going to weasel their way out of paying any of that money back. There's no way we're all going to get a check for that. We're not. Oh, we're not going to give them back the money directly, but we'll invest $60 million into this, and then they'll never do it. Now, at least the Conservatives are holding them accountable, and I'm really glad the NDP, the Green, and the Bloc agreed with the Conservatives, because in order to stop the Liberals from doing anything, we need pretty much every other party to team up against them. Okay, the Greens only have one seat, so they can join the Liberals if they want. But if the NDP, the Bloc, or somehow the Conservatives would to agree with them, whatever they want is going to get passed. So, it's tough. They don't quite have a majority, which is great, but it's really good that people like Michael Barrett and Larry Brock and Melissa Landsman and Leslyn Lewis and Raquel Doncho and all these great new MPs as well, like Aaron Gunn and Andrew Lawton and Sandra Corbina and all these awesome, strong Conservatives. We have a really strong team on our side, or at least hopefully they're on our side. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not trust politicians, but a Pierre Poilievre-led Conservative Party is the most trustworthy I can get. Because I see people like this. I see Michael Cooper. And they seem legitimate. They seem like they actually care and they want things to change for the better. And they prove it by doing things like this. And the Liberals prove that they're up to no good by voting against this. They don't want to be held accountability for their horrific scandal. But the Conservatives and even the NDP and the Bloc have decided, sorry, we're going to hold your asses accountable. But let me know what you guys think. And also let me know what you think. Do you think we're actually going to get any of that money back? I can't even keep a straight face when I ask. But I do want to hear your comments. Please, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.